Former mayor of New York, the ninth richest person in the United States, 14th richest in the world, a $53 billion net worth. Centrists, corporatists, Michael Bloomberg wants to jump in the race. It makes me want to put up that SpongeBob meme that says, "How many times do we gotta teach you this lesson, old man?" Because he's a good representation of the party right now. So, we've always known that the Democrat and the Republican parties, they're not much different. I mean, the social issues they fight for are a lot different, but as far as who they stand for, like, they're both doing what makes sense business wise. Look at issues like gay rights. Like, everyone in the Democratic Party was against gay rights. Like, Bill Clinton was a huge proponent of anti gay legislation. But guess what? Their stances changed when it became politically, convenient. It made sense for them politically in the polling, it helped them get votes. Then they changed. Both parties are serving their masters, serving their big donors. But it's funny. The one thing that they won't let go, even when it's convenient politically, is their money, tax dollars. They don't want people like Sanders to win, Warren to a lesser extent, although I think they could control her a little bit, and like Yang, they don't want them to win. So as soon as they see Joe Biden isn't a strong candidate, they freak out. Like, oh no, he's our ticket. He's our moderate ticket. We need to get him in. They freak out. They're like, oh well, he's not going to be good. He can't talk on a debate stage. He has no energy. No one's getting excited for Biden. So guess what? We have to go Mayor Pete. Let's fund him. Give him $50 million to pour in Iowa. And then Michael Bloomberg at the side is looking at the race. This guy almost ran for president many other times. But I saw in many articles, he just decided, well, I'm running out of time, so I have to jump in the race. He said he'll spend $500 million of his own money in the political process. It's insane. Like, it makes you think, like, there's a lot of people in our world that have over $50 billion net worth. There's like 15 total people and like 10 in the US. Like, what happens if somebody decides to dissolve and liquidate half of their wealth and just put it into politics and run a $20 billion presidential campaign? Like, what happens? Like, 5 media companies control everything we see, hear, and communicate on. 5 media companies. It's crazy. Like, what if they bought out certain media cycles? And we know how that could be easily manipulated. We know how corporate it really is. Corporatist it really is. Michael Bloomberg, centrist, if he jumped in the race, I think it would take a little bit away from Buttigieg. It would take a little bit away from Biden. But at this point, he has no solid ground game. So in a state like Iowa where it's a caucus, you need to get people together on the ground, really motivated, really energized. They won't make an effect in there. But later in the race, it could steal votes away from the moderates. So it's kind of counterproductive to wanting to run against the leftist candidates like Warren, Sanders, Yang. It's really counterproductive. It makes you think it's just like a midlife crisis thing or an end-of-life crisis thing for Bloomberg. Bloomberg is the exact thing the party needs to get away from. It's what people don't want. No one will come support someone like Bloomberg, someone like Biden in the general election. Progressives don't conform. Libertarians don't conform. Moderates will conform. If you run a Sanders or Warren or Yang, the moderates will conform to them. They will vote anyone but Donald Trump. But the other people you need, the people that don't show up in the polls, the small towns in the U.S., these underground fiery revolution, these movements that you need to show up for an election in such a polarized country, like, guess what? Half the country's with Donald Trump, half the country's against him. There's a small sliver of 5 to 10% of people who you can sway. That's not enough to win an election. We're not playing catch-all. That doesn't win. We need to get our base energized. We need to get people who truly care about this stuff active. You do not excite anybody. You're bringing back an old brand of politics, money in politics, exactly what people don't want to see today.